Hi guys, Ryan Cullinan here from Comparaturn, where our job is to connect expats with experts. Today's topic is about beneficiary trust planning, why you might use a beneficiary trust, who might benefit from them, and what the structure involves. So just quickly, we're also going to be doing a video about discretionary trusts. So those are also known as trust funds. So if you're looking for a structure where you can put more than $5 million worth of assets in, property, companies and all that, the discretionary trust video is what you're looking for. You'll find the link up here. So today's video is about beneficiary trusts. So what is a beneficiary trust? Now, a beneficiary trust is effectively a bond or an investment bond, which is an investment account when you're alive, and when you pass away, it turns into a trust upon death. So that means that you can have some taxation benefits while you're alive. You can also have taxation benefits for the people you're passing it on to. You also retain control while you're alive. So the assets are still within your name and you retain full control. If you're the kind of individual who likes to also manage your own investment structures, this can be a benefit as well. Finally, beneficiaries. So the main reason why people take out a beneficiary trust is to ensure that after they pass away, exactly what they want to happen with their money will. So what we're going to do now, and the best way to explain a beneficiary trust is to go through a case study. So let's get started. Today's case study is Barry King. So this is a pretty typical client profile that I might run into here in Thailand. So Barry is an Australian who's 57 years old. He works in oil and gas, and he's got a 4-year-old son, Jackson, and he's got a 37-year-old wife, Ploy. So Barry's in his 50s, who has a wife in her 30s and a young child. Now, Barry's concern is that if he were to pass away, because he does do a dangerous job, what would happen to his money? So currently he might just have an investment account, which is attached to a will. And then, if he passes away, what might happen is that the executor of the will has to settle some debts, and there might be a claim against his estate. If there's anyone who feels like they are owed money, an ex-wife or anything like that, then the money that he's got is going to be tied up into probate court, and that could take a very, very long time. It might be years before the money gets outside of the court system, and that's not going to help his son Jackson out or his wife Ploy. So what he wants is to set up an account where when he passes away, his son and his wife are not only looked after, but they're looked after in a very specific fashion. So the beneficiary trust and final will. What he does is he takes out a beneficiary trust. It could be somewhere such as the Isle of Man, which then allows him to move his current investments into the trust. He might have stocks and shares with Citibank or HSBC or even his own Australian shares. It allows him to take the investments out of his current account, place them into the beneficiary trust. Now what happens is when he's alive, he can still hold the stocks and shares, invest like he normally does, but when he passes away, the policy is enacted, so it then becomes a trust. Now, it's a capital redemption policy. There's two main types of beneficiary trust. Life assurance. Now, what a life assurance account does is it pays out to 100% of the policy values, straight out to a percentage of the beneficiary. So it might be 50% to the wife, 50% to a son, 25% to a son, and 25% to a daughter, totaling 100. That's life assurance. The second type is what's called capital redemption. This means that the policy remains open and invested even after he passes away. So Barry passes away, his investment bond becomes a trust, which is then enacted through his lawyer or executor. So when they sit down, he's got a will and testament. The will and testament states that the beneficiary trust is to pay out to his son Jackson at, say, 1 million Thai baht a year up until the age of 18, and that is to cover off education expenses. It's to cover off rents and accommodation and living expenses for his son and his wife. When Jackson hits 18, the rest of the account is to cash out and pay out as a percentage to his wife Ploy and his son Jackson. Now, Barry knows that when he's alive, he still has access to his investments. He can invest how he wants in a tax-efficient manner. Should he ever pass away, he knows his wife Ploy and son Jackson is looked after. Now, the tax benefits in this regard is if he were to go back to Australia. So there's what they call the 10-year rule in Australia. A beneficiary trust is also considered a foreign whole-of-life investment policy by the ATO. That means that if he holds it for 10 years before taking money out of the account, any money that he has in the account is tax-free on drawdown. So it means that, say, if in year 1 he took the policy out, in year 4 he moved back to Australia, and in year 10 he started taking deductions. The time he was in Australia, which is 6 years, all the growth in that policy is tax-free, which can be a handy little tax benefit for people. Thanks for watching, guys. That's an introduction to beneficiary trust planning. If you found this video interesting, or if you've got any questions, you can feel free to actually book in with me. You can book in a phone call or a 1-hour meeting. All the details for that are going to be in the description of this video, so drop down box, add the description of the video. If you like this video as well, please subscribe and like. Thanks, guys. Bye.